I'm Ian Nethercott, Supply Chain Director at Probrand. So this week I wanted to do an update here from my home office on the supply chain updates amidst this COVID-19 situation while we're all here under lockdown. So if you watch my video back from March, you'll hopefully recall me talking about how the channel was going to be affected over these coming sort of weeks and months in terms of stock constraints that will affect the IT space. So here we are. We've certainly been through that. It's been an extremely challenging time in the IT space. Um, Stock has been at an all-time low. I've quite frankly never seen anything like it in all of my experience in IT. So we've had huge stock shortages generally across the board, but obviously specifically in traditional home working equipment. So things like notebooks, headsets, webcams, monitors, that kind of equipment has been in huge shortage over recent sort of weeks and months. So to summarise kind of the outlining reasons for this, obviously is COVID-19 itself. So obviously all of the factory shutdowns and labour shortages and all of those factors that I'm sure everybody's aware of now that's happened in China. In addition to that, though, there's obviously the Chinese New Year situation prior to COVID-19, which didn't help things. But then on top of that, there is also the Intel constraints as well, which is absolutely still a problem out there, which I think a lot of people, to be fair, have forgotten about because COVID-19 has obviously overshadowed everything. But the Intel processor problem and shortage is absolutely still there. And I think that will probably rear its head again as we emerge out of the sort of stock constraints we've had through the COVID-19 process. There's also been a lot of priority, obviously, to the NHS in the UK as well, which is absolutely right and completely understandable. So new stocks that have been coming into the market, the NHS have been prioritised for a lot of that equipment, for obviously the new hospital builds and temporary structures that have been going up around the country. So a lot of stock has been going out to the NHS. However, that kind of tranche of demand from the NHS has really kind of tailed off now and pretty much stopped. There'll obviously be certain bits and pieces that they'll still need, but the sheer volume of that has really stopped. So that's started now to show a little bit more of a positive effect in the channel in terms of stocks starting to appear in a few areas as well. The other thing probably to mention as well is the logistics problems around this. So things like air freight has been massively affected. So obviously air freight will normally be used by vendors to get goods over into Europe and the UK much quicker. But obviously because of COVID and because there's so many planes grounded, it's actually a lot of commercial planes that are actually used in a lot of instances for cargo, not just the traditional cargo aeroplanes. So because all those flights are grounded, that's had a knock-on effect into kind of the air freight side of logistics as well. So there's a whole catalogue of things that has really created this kind of perfect storm for all of these constraints that we've all experienced. But where we are right now, we are seeing some much more positive signs in the market. I've noticed over the last kind of couple of weeks, there's certain lines starting to appear in free stock, which is really good to see. So I think as we move throughout the rest of May into June, that I think can only improve now as time goes on. The core lines that are still absolutely in constraint are really notebooks, headsets, webcams. Webcams actually are probably one of the categories that's been probably most heavily affected. I think the vendors for in the webcam space just really didn't anticipate the sheer level of demand that they would have. So there's been some pretty significant constraints in the webcam space. But those are the real three core categories that are still in major constraint at the moment. But they are starting to see some positive signs. So watch this space, and hopefully we'll see that improve in the sort of the coming weeks as well. So Probably no surprise as well, prices have risen throughout all of this as well, which again I did predict that a couple of months ago. So you will notice prices rise, and possibly continue to rise over the coming months as well. So just make sure you're keeping a regular check on your regular run rate purchases for pricing, and when is a good time that you need to buy those as well. My general advice has really been the same as before. It's very much around communication with your suppliers, in terms of stock that you need. Communicate really heavily in terms of what the lead times look like, but be very aware of the fact that lead times are very, very unreliable at the moment. So just make sure there's a lot of questions being asked around lead times, and what, if those goods are actually in transit already, or are they still in a factory being built somewhere. And it's quite important that you get some checks done all the way up and down your supply chain. Get in the queue for back orders as well is what I would say. It's very much a queuing system. It's kind of first come, first serve, and that's pretty much the way it operates. So don't wait around. If you know that you need stock, it's more important that you just get an order on with your supplier and get yourself in the queue, because as I mentioned, stock is starting to appear gradually. So if you're in that queue, then it's more likely you're going to have your back orders sort of fulfilled as well. But plan ahead as far as you possibly can, which I appreciate is very difficult at the moment. It's a lot of uncertain times, and in terms of how everybody's going to be working and how long people will be home working for and things like that. But just try and plan forward as much as you possibly can. But we'll keep a regular update with you. But that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe for more insider information. As always, send any questions to askian@probrand.co.uk. But until next time, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you soon.